the other 90% look like the top 10%? And where did those top 10% come from? And how do we get more people like the top 10%? How do we get more clients that recognize the value, pay us premium prices, aren't pain in the butts? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a wonderful view of my office that looks slightly less professional. So let's go ahead and jump in and discuss the ultimate off-season growth plan for your accounting firm. We're going to discuss high leverage activities that you can be doing to ultimately attract more of your dream clients with a little less friction and effort. So a lot of people, when they get into the off season, it is summer, it is sun, it is July 3rd, day after my birthday. And whenever it's this time of year, first of all, it's the start of Q3, but there's also a bit of a slowdown right now, halfway through the year, and it's a good time to recalibrate. How close are you to your goals? How many dream clients have you signed? Do you know what a dream client is? Do you know how to reach out to them? Do you know how that they can recognize the value proposition you have that makes you different from another accounting firm or another accountant or another tax person or another bookkeeper? And if you're feeling on shaky ground on any of those questions, like you don't have really strong answers or you don't love any of those answers, this is for you. So let's go ahead and jump on in. So the first thing that I always start with in every quarter is I love to do an analysis of the profitability of the client base. I like to understand what are the bottom 10%, what are the top 10%. And then when you see the top 10%, the thought exercise you should go through is what if the other 90% look like the top 10%? And where did those top 10% come from? And how do we get more people like the top 10%? How do we get more clients that recognize the value, pay us premium prices, aren't pain in the butts? How do we get those things? And just by sitting with that question while you're drinking a Mai Tai on the beach or whatever people drink on the beach, when you're enjoying it, the 4th of July, or taking some time to just like recalibrate, I think that's one of the best questions you can ponder on. And someone may, what you want to avoid is like really general answers. Like, oh, they're all wealthy clients. Of course, they're my top 10%. Or, oh, they're they came from referrals. Like, those are very low quality answers that don't help you inform a better strategy to make the off season more productive and more profitable. And so get deeper with the analysis, like leverage what makes accountants so amazing, which is not just accepting surface level fluff, but diving a bit deeper into what is going on with the clients by looking at the data that's available, but look deeper, right? Like, don't just take the surface level. The second thing is there's I think his name's Arsenio Hall, but he had a talk show, I think it was in the 90s, and he was like one of the top, I think, late night people out there. And he was on, I think it was The Apprentice, and he had to do some charity fundraising. And when he went to go call all these, colleagues, people that he, thought had these great relationships with, he was stunned. He said, "Nobody will take my call." And he reflected on it and he said, "When I had my show, everybody took my call." And that's a very powerful story for everyone here, which is if you don't have a platform to share your message to your dream clients, if you don't have something to invite centers of influence onto, they're extremely likely to ignore you and not know you exist. And so when you're doing your off-season marketing, I want you to think about it less so as harvesting and more so about planting seeds. I want you to think it more so about what's a force multiplier, what makes everything more effective. And if you go, okay, well, these are the things that are multipliers. If we do this, it makes every other marketing strategy more effective. It makes all of our sales conversations easier. It saves us time, not just today, but every day moving forward. Those are the type of decisions that have long-lasting impact. This is the quite literal, like when people are like, work on your business, not in your business. Don't let the business control you. You control the business. Those are fantastic, like general platitudes, and they're nice. They're cute social media posts. but there's almost no context for what those things truly mean. And what they mean is if you have done work in a certain way that is usually new work, it is usually not the same work, it is a new thing, and the benefit continues to reappear, or it has benefits across everything that you do, that's working on the business, okay? Because business is about gaining leverage. And if you're just doing the same things over and over again, you're not gaining leverage. You're just trading time for money, which is what you're trying to avoid. Everyone does that functionally at some level. But you're trying to trade time for bigger opportunities or better things. So what are those? Okay, so the reason I brought up the Arsenio Hall example is when you are trying to reach out to centers of influence, when you're trying to build a stronger referral network, when you want your clients to respect you more, when you want prospects to show up to the call already knowing your expertise or excited to speak to you or already know that you have you are worth a premium price, how do you do that? And the answer is you educate your audience for free and ask basically nothing in return. And eventually, or very quickly, they will start to give you more and more. Like they'll literally show up more prepared. They'll be excited to speak to you. You'll find more calls are getting booked with the right people. And so developing your platform, your talk show, developing your YouTube channel, developing your 15 minutes of I will help you out for free is a force multiplier across your marketing. Because now when you reach out to your centers of influence, it's not just like, hey, Tony, my local banker, remember me, the one of 100 accountants you talk with every single day? He's like, yeah, Not a lot of value there. Compared against, on the other side, right? Hey, Tony, I'm launching this new series where I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And you were one of the first people that I thought of that would be a fantastic guest. How's Tuesday at 2? How's your schedule for next week looking? And so what's beautiful about the difference between these two things is one is extremely easy to ignore. In other words, it's a very weak offer, okay? One is a much stronger offer. And the more that you do this offer, the more you make it, the more consistent you are with it, it grows in being irresistible. Here's another great way of thinking about this. So the most popular podcast in the world, last time I heard or checked, was Joe Rogan. But Joe Rogan, if he had been like, can I interview a presidential candidate? Can I interview probably anyone he's interviewed in the last year. If he had tried to do that in year one of his podcast, they'd been like, a podcast? What? I don't even know what that is. And I don't know who you are. And no one listens to you. Why would I bother? But consistency over time has expanded how irresistible the offer is, because now he could ask literally anyone and they would say yes. And so for you, you don't need to try and swing for the fences. You just need to be able to get your existing centers of influence, the existing people that already have some degree of connection to your dream client profile or the clients you'd like to work with or already are working with. And you go, cool, talk to them. And then slowly but surely, you'll be able to level up and talk to bigger and bigger centers of influence, which is free to do. All this is free to do, which is awesome. Another big aspect of the ultimate off-season marketing plan is just taking the time to actually know your data. Like, I know I was saying analyze the data of your client base, but when we start working with firms, and even firms that are going through acquisition processes for like big buyers like private equity, they essentially expected these large, multi-million, some 8-figure firms to have all of this marketing data, and they have basically none. They have no data. They don't track how many people click their website. They don't track how many leads they have. They don't send emails, or if they do, they have no idea how often they're being opened. Like they have basically zero on data. And so if you're trying to make a better strategy forward, it's hard to do anything without some form of data. And so I would encourage you to just be like, how many clicks am I getting to my website? How many clicks am I getting to my social media feed? How many appointments have we booked? How many people showed? how many people did we present and offer proposals to, and how many accepted them? Like, if you can just get to those like six metrics, all of a sudden you're gonna be like, why is this so low this month? Why is this so low this month? And then you may even say, hey, we had a spike here. Where did that come from? And so when I think about like off-season marketing, it's not like go run Facebook ads, go do this. It's entirely dependent on like your avatar, if you're producing content or yet for your avatar, and if you're tracking data. And if you're doing none of those things, your off-season marketing plan is just start doing those things. just start doing those. And as soon as you start doing those, it informs the next steps of how to make not an off-season marketing plan, but a hyper growth plan going into the busy season, harvest season in Q4. So now that my camera feed is all blurry, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. But I hope you enjoyed today's Dream Firm Spotlight. Remember, only you can make your dream firm reality, and we are here to help you every single step of the way. And I'm going to call the internet.